Hello and greetings from Tigertown. I hope this finds you safe and well. I'm Josh Barnes with the Center for Student Leadership and Engagement, and I have the pleasure of sharing with you a short overview of what your students' virtual orientation looks like. We want to make sure our parents and families have a good understanding of what their students' experience will be like during virtual orientation. As a part of this overview, I'll be going over next steps for students once they have signed up for orientation. We'll talk about the modules and information students will see in virtual orientation. And finally, we'll be going over the advising and course registration process. Before we begin, I want to introduce some key terms that you will hear as a part of this overview, but you may have already heard from your student as well. First is virtual orientation. This is the online program that students will go through in Canvas. Canvas is Clemson's online learning platform, and it will be a system that students will use regularly during their time at Clemson. Next is course registration block. This was the specific date and time that your student selected during their orientation sign-up process. This is the date and time your student will register for their fall course. It's a time ticket to access our course registration system called iRoar. At Clemson, students are assigned time tickets to register for courses each semester. So the course registration block they selected during orientation signups is essentially your student's time ticket to register. It is not an academic advising appointment, and please note that all times are Eastern Standard Time. Finally, academic advising. This is a one-on-one meeting between your student and their academic advisor. This appointment should occur before your student's course registration block. All right, so your student has signed up for orientation, so now what? Well, once this happens, they should have received a confirmation email outlining their next steps to complete the program. In addition, they should have also received a separate email from Canvas inviting them to join their academic college's virtual orientation program. They will need to accept the invitation in their email in order to view the virtual orientation program in Canvas. Alternatively, they can log into Canvas with their Clemson credentials and accept the invitation by clicking on the green button at the top of the home page. Once they've accepted the invitation, the virtual orientation program will show up on their dashboard in Canvas. Now, the first 4 modules are academic in nature and are very important because they'll receive information and tutorials that will facilitate their academic advising and course registration experience. Module 1 is pretty short and sweet. It's a welcome message from President Clements along with a virtual orientation overview similar to this one. Module 2 is pre-advising, and this was developed by their academic advisor. This is where students will review important academic information and learn how to schedule their advising appointment. Now, every academic college is coordinating their advising appointment differently, so it may vary across colleges. Students just need to closely review all the material and information in Module 2 to learn how to schedule that advising appointment. Again, it will vary from college to college, but again, if they have any questions, feel free to contact their academic advisor for more information. Academic advisor's contact information should be provided in each Module 2. Module 3 is all about our course registration system called iRoar. Our orientation ambassadors have developed 3 tutorials that are designed to help students learn how to use iRoar in advance of their course registration block. This way, they're ready to go for their course to sign up for fall courses during their course registration block. And finally, Module 4 covers an app called CU Navigate. Students will need to download the app through their app store called Navigate Student. Again, that's Navigate Student. Once they download the app, they will log in with their Clemson credentials, and that will take them to the Clemson University Navigate portion of the app. Now, some academic advisors use this tool to schedule their academic advising, but CU Navigate also connects students to a lot of different academic and campus resources that they now have access to. So it's a tool that they should be able to use throughout their time at Clemson. We strongly encourage students to complete modules 1 through 4 as soon as they can. It should be the should be the first 4 modules they complete. There are 9 modules total, so we want them to do the first 4 as soon as they can. Please encourage your students to complete them as soon as possible. All right, so your students completed academic advising. So what's next in the virtual orientation program? Well, once they've done this, it's time to register for courses in IROAR. On their course registration block date and time, they will log in to IROAR using their Clemson credentials. In IROAR, they will select their courses, submit them, and confirm their schedule. Advisors will review step-by-step instructions on how to register during their advising appointments so students have a clear understanding of what to do. But again, students can also refer back to Module 3 as well. Advisors will provide students with instructions on how to contact them in the event there are any issues or scheduling conflicts during their course registration block. Students should follow these instructions and communication channels to contact their advisors directly if there are any issues. All right, so your students completed course registration. Now what? Well, now's the time to start the remaining portions of virtual orientation. Modules 5 through 9 can be started. We recommend taking care of advising and registration first to keep it simple, but once that's done, students should start modules 5 through 9. The program is self-paced, and we just ask that modules 5 through 9 be completed by August the 12th. Modules 5 through 9 are non-academic in nature, but are important for successful transitions to Clemson. A couple of the modules are lengthy, so we've put an estimated time for completion in each module title, so students know how much time they need to set aside in order to complete those modules. Module 5 covers transition and campus resources for students. Module 6 is a required training and education program that covers alcohol, drugs, and sexual assault prevention. It will take about 2.5 hours to complete, so they do need to set aside a good bit of time to complete that training. Module 7 will take about an hour to complete, and it will cover the student code of conduct, and it will outline the expectations of our students from the university's perspective. Modules 8 and 9 are much more shorter. They're about 10 minutes each, and they review Module 8 reviews student life at Clemson, and Module 9 covers the Tiger I card, which is the university's official student ID. A couple of housekeeping items before we wrap up. Just a reminder that there are no in-person elements to virtual orientation. Everything is being conducted online at this time. We are planning on having in-person orientation, but that will happen in August after move-in, once we determine it is safe to do so. We will communicate all of these details once we have finalized them through the Clemson Parent and Family Experience Portal, as well as directly to your student's Clemson email address. Finally, please encourage your student to check their Clemson emails often. Important announcements from the university will be delivered to that email. That is our primary communication channel to our students. It is also the primary communication channel for our academic advisors. We don't want any misinformation or miscommunication because we're not checking Clemson emails to delay any registration times or anything like that. All right, well, thank you for watching and listening. If you need anything, please feel free to email us, and go Tigers.